This episode of Comics for Fun and Profit is brought to you by Bad Idea Comics. You thought they were bad last time, folks. Well, now they're really, really bad. And by the way, good luck finding a Bad Idea comic because the closest one to me in Ohio, not your smallish state, one of your bigger states, it's like 2.5, 3 hours away. Not worth it to track down a comic. Sorry. My LCS, Cowabunga Comics, not on the list. You know? Don't blame them. Don't blame you guys for never ever buying a Bad Idea comics. Thank you, Bad Idea, for rearing your ugly head again. And I look forward to all your bad ideas. Thanks for listening to Comics for Fun and Profit. This is episode 789? 789. For comics releasing sometime this week. When are they coming out, Mike? 20th
I don't know. I do know they're late at my shop.
20th and 21st. And that was Mike Myers, who's joining me in place of my brother Kyle. He is replacing Kyle this week. Kyle is out on assignment. And
I'm the sixth man off the bench.
Mr. Six Man. So it's Christmas time, Mike. Are you excited for you had a long vacation, so are you excited about it? You gonna read some comics?
I do. I shouldn't take a long vacation, but I think I deserve it. So I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. I know I got a lot of odds and ends to take care of, and mostly go back home and hang out with family.
If I know you, this is going to be a little taste of what retirement's going to be like, and then you're going to be thinking, God, I can't wait to retire. That's how I do it. Every time I get a couple of weeks off, I'm like, oh, this is what it's like to be retired, and I just want to be retired.
Yeah, I feel like that. We have a lot of people though that retired and are coming back, so I don't know what that's about, but
well, they don't have your savings account.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I think for a lot of people, it's like it's one of three things. They don't like their spouse that much and they can't take it, or they need the money, which is one other case, like for medical, conditions. And then the third issue is they get bored. In other words, they're off for a year or two and then they don't know what to do with themselves. So
yeah, I got a taste of it in 2020. I had a COVID layoff, and then it coincided with all the stimulus payments, and so I just kind of laid it. I didn't do anything for like 9 months, and I was like the greatest 9 months of my entire life. I was like, oh, this is retirement.
Yeah.
I
think I'll Harley.
That's our third co-host.
Yeah, Harley's my dog, and she's a little old and senile, and she's like, it's her ritual time right now.
She's excited about the new comics.
And Barb's upstairs, so she's being bad. Oh, there she goes. Now she's doing her counterclockwise thing around the kitchen, and maybe she'd be okay. She has what do you call it? Like what do they call it when you have your mannerisms? Like everything you do everything in routine.
She's like an OCD.
Yeah, it's like an OCD thing.
For a dog? That's cool. Yeah. I did not know that it was even possible.
Yeah, she's always had it.
Yeah. So
it's like certain things, and we always make fun because like if I try to like change her path, she just destroys whatever's in front of her. So I just I can't have like comic boxes there or anything. She'll just knock it down.
Now, one thing you do that I haven't been doing much of is run to the theater for new releases. So you've seen everything that's out, right? You've seen Black Adam, you've seen Wakanda, you've seen
I've seen the big two. I've seen, usually we go to the movies more often, but we haven't lately, but there hasn't been a lot of new movies being released, in all fairness,
Yeah.
for a while it was like dead. Like they were even bringing back old movies. But I saw Black Adam, I saw Wakanda, and I think the last one I saw was The Menu,
Oh
which was
yeah.
very interesting and in the vein of cannibalism and Chef Ramsay and like Eat the Rich, that comic book,
Yeah,
things
exactly.
things like that. It's sort of in that realm, and it was really good. And the other movies I've seen on TV though, I saw, what is it? Nope. I like that one.
Oh, I'm getting ready to watch that one. I haven't watched that one yet.
For me, it was very innovative. Like I don't even want to talk about what it is because that's you'll find out.
Yeah.
But it, I don't know. It's like if you take a genre of something and you just do something very different with it. Like I wouldn't have thought of it. It's kind of unique in that vein.
Yeah, it hasn't
I
been
like,
spoiled for me yet, so I'm kind of excited to
yeah.
check it out. Um, but you like Black Adam?
I loved Black Adam. Like I just thought it was a huge punch fest with really cool characters. Like you don't have to think a lot. The plot's pretty simple. Um, I liked it more than Wakanda, to tell you the truth, but I tend to like the DC films more. I don't know why that is. It could be because I like DC comics more than Marvel,
That
and
must
I
be
like
it.
seeing those characters. Yeah, I like seeing those characters on the screen, and I like the darker tone. And I wish they wouldn't go the Marvel route and connect everything. I like it when it's just like, oh, go release these 3 Batman movies. They're not tied to anything, or go release the Joker, which is one of my favorite DC movies of all time, and it's not connected to anything. I kind of like that. That way they can think outside the box and do something different that we haven't seen before.
And yeah, they're getting some blowback for that from that. That they're not interconnected with a 10-year plan and the way the MCU was. But I don't think everybody has to be the same.
Well, I'm having MCU burnout. Well, I mean, kind of like superhero burnout, to say the truth. I got pretty excited to see Black Adam, which was abnormal, but everything else it's just because it's so much. It's like drinking out of a fire hose,
Yeah,
And it
yeah,
used to be special. It's like, oh my God, I haven't seen a superhero film, and now every time you turn on your cable box or streaming, and that's all that's on.
yeah.
It's like, give me movies like The Menu and stuff like in fall and stuff that, I don't know, that's different, and I tend to like get more excited about those releases.
The same with the shows too. I mean, uh, there used to be like never a comic book show on. Occasionally you get a
Yeah.
comic book show, and now you get so many that it's really hard to get it up for them as much. I mean, I would watch WandaVision, as soon as it came out. I had to watch it right away, and then as the shows came out in more and more frequency, now I'll just let them stack up and I'll binge it. I don't care anymore.
Yeah, I think I'm caught up. I watched She-Hulk. I haven't watched the Andor thing yet. I
Are
still
you a
gotta
soup?
watch that.
Are you a Star Wars guy?
I love Star Wars. Like I've
Okay.
watched all, like you say, you don't even watch the animated, but I've seen them all. So I've seen Bad Batch, Rebels, and Clone
I
Wars, and
I guarantee you'll love Andor.
well,
I'd be super surprised if you didn't.
since Empire Strikes Back, or I guess the new release of new movies, Rogue One is my favorite. So
Yeah,
like
yeah,
like by a long shot. Like I could watch Rogue One like over and over and over again, and I just love it because it flows right into continuity and it adds so much more. It has one of the awesomest battles on that planet that I just really dig.
and watching Rogue One and New Hope back to back is
Yeah.
really is a pleasure. It's really a pleasure to do that. And you just feel like, okay, they really cared about this enough
Yeah,
to.
the writers cared about, like, we want to tell you the story of how they steal the plans, like, and we want to tell you a good story.
And we want it to be so seamless that it could be one long movie and it works perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Rogue One is one of the best ones. I really like it. Give me more.
But I like them all. Like,
Yeah,
I'm not one of those complainers, that, oh God, everything sucks. Yeah.
like my
If I,
brother.
yeah, well, if I can, if I can get, like, if I can escape from reality for 2 hours, I'm excited. If I don't
I
think
saw.
about work, if I don't think about work for those 2 hours, that's a good thing.
That's a positive. Now,
Yeah.
my brother doesn't like Solo. I don't get it. I think
I
Solo's pretty
thought
good.
Solo was underrated, and I thought it was good. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand the vitriol for that one. And I did watch the prequels again, and I still think Phantom's good, really good. And
I think they're great. Most people like how he became Darth Vader, but I think I like the second one the most of
that
the
is my least
prequels.
that is my least favorite of all of them.
I tend to like the second ones of all movies, like Empire Strikes Back. I liked of the
Well, that's a good one.
post Star Wars. I like the middle one the best,
Yeah.
with Skywalker and that planet and those new AT-ATs. I really dug that. And
Oh, yeah. That wanted to be Empire. It really did.
yeah.
They tried really hard.
Yeah, they
It
had
got good.
those skimmers, that were like land speeders
Yeah.
trying to attack that stuff. That was awesome.
Oh, that was
And
great.
yeah, and I liked the second prequel. So I don't know what it is. It's weird.
How about Jaws 2?
No, Jaws has always been Jaws 1. But I
Temple of
like
Doom?
all the Indiana Jones movies.
Yeah,
Temple of
Temple.
Doom, when I saw it at the theater, I I'm not sure I absorbed it, but now I can watch it over and over again, and I really like it. So it's
You're
like Superman 3, I guess.
Yeah.
I love Superman 3 now, and when it came out, I was like, man, this is kind of a lame movie, but now I've read enough Silver Age comics to appreciate Superman 3 and Richard Pryor.
Those are ones I've not revisited for a couple decades, so I need to probably
Yeah.
check those out again at some point.
It really is like a if you've read Carrie Bates Superman, it is so in the vein of Silver Age Superman stories where it like sort of ridiculous.
I've never
Uh,
read Superman in the 70s. Nope.
yeah, if you might not like it as much as I do, but I have. So, and Carrie Bates is one of my favorites because he kind of told done in one stories of Superman,
Yeah.
and they were full stories that were crazy. And that's Superman 3 right there. And Superman 4 kind of just suffered from budget, but it was all right.
The only 70s comics I read were like Richie Rich and those type of comics and Sergeant Rock. I didn't get into superheroes until like the 80s, mid 80s, and then I never went back. I never went backwards to read like the earlier stuff. There's always because there's shit tons of stuff every Wednesday, so it's really tough to go back.
You're probably a decade younger than me though.
I don't know. I think we're only a couple years apart. I think we're only a couple years apart. You're in your early 50s. I'm
Yeah,
early 50s, right?
you're not 50 yet, are you?
Yeah, I am.
Oh, okay. So we're closer than I thought. You were younger than that.
Yeah, well, I'm young at heart, Mike.
At heart, yeah.
But
Yeah, I never matured past high school, but
so you've read like you read 70s superhero comics as a kid, or you've gone back and read them since?
I read them as a kid, but I would just get whatever. And and I spent a lot of time in Sergeant Rock and GI Combat and Unknown Soldier because back when I was a kid, Army men were the thing. Like
Yes.
it was like go play Army men, and it was good against bad, and it just seemed to capture my attention to read Sergeant Rock, Our Army at War, GI Combat, Star Spangled War stories, and all that stuff.
So when did you start reading Superman, you think?
Super Friends is when really got me into the cartoon is what got me into the superhero comics.
Well, that's 80s, right?
Yeah. Well, it's 70s.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Wendy and Marvin era.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah.
The Xana and Jaina was probably 80s.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. It's on HBO Max. I gotta go revisit. I revisited one or two, and I was like, oh, okay. I remember this plot line from when it came out. When I watched it as a kid, I'm like, how do I remember who it is? And that's crazy because I must have seen the shows multiple times as a kid. I'm guessing they must have been in reruns a lot because I was really surprised that 40 years later I'm watching it and I'm like, oh, it's that guy. Yeah, I remember what he does.
Yeah, but I grew up with Scooby-Doo and Dudley Do-Right and Rocky and Bullwinkle and Super Friends. And then I stayed watching cartoons until X-Men ended, I think. And then I stopped watching Saturday morning cartoons.
So that's
but I followed it through Spidey. Yeah, I followed it real deep. And even in the late 2000s, whenever Batman came out, probably around 90, I watched all of those. So I stayed watching like certain cartoons, but Saturday mornings were like I'd get up and watch the color bars and on the screen and wait till cartoons started.
No way. I didn't get up that early.
Yeah.
No, it was usually something was like I hated Rocky and Bullwinkle. Like I was like, I gotta get through this so the good stuff comes on. I didn't like that. I didn't like what was the one? It was like
it was sophisticated humor though.
I was not sophisticated. I was a little
Rocky
kid.
and Bullwinkle though has like really good adult humor to it, I think.
I'd probably like it better now.
Yeah. I didn't care for it. I watched it.
It was I
watched Spider-Man and Amazing Friends, the Hulk, Thundar the Barbarian. Like I love that.
Oh yeah, that one. That one was
Tarzan Lone Ranger Hour. I mean, that was a lot of stuff. Land of the Lost. That was really good.
No.
So that was like live action. You didn't watch Land of the Lost?
No. Nope. It was the stuff you mentioned though, that the Super Friends, Scooby-Doo, Thundar, He-Man, that stuff. I was there for that. But no, I never watched it. I didn't like. I might have watched it because there was nothing else on, but I didn't like it.
Captain Caveman, the Flintstones, all of it. The Jetsons. I liked a lot of stuff.
Captain Caveman, I forgot about that.
Captain Caveman. Yeah, he was cool. Dynamite, Scooby-Doo, Dynamite and Blue Falcon.
Yeah,
do you remember those guys?
I do. I remember there was wasn't there like a contest of champions type of thing where all the cartoon characters would battle it out, like a battle of the stars.
Oh, Laugh Olympics.
Yeah.
Laugh Olympics was awesome.
I remember that being pretty cool. Like that was pretty cool that everybody was competing against each other.
It was the Scooby Doobies, the the Yogi Yogis, and the Rotten Rottens or something like that.
Yeah.
It was really good.
That was always fun. So I was down for that. All right, we need to get into comics.
But you were saying you were saying though that you when you were off during that time you were like, I like this a lot, huh?
Oh yeah. I mean, my wife and I, we just got to hang out and do whatever we wanted, and it was really fun. And no,
Were you still collecting employment, or were you like
yeah,
on
yeah,
unemployment?
I had a severance package for the layoff.
Oh,
So
okay.
so
Yeah, yeah,
I was still had health insurance and my paychecks coming in regularly. So it
yeah,
was just like it was pretty sweet. And then it was like it was going to be pretty close to actually running out. And I was like,
yeah.
I think I should probably start looking for a job. But it was a really, really fun 9 months, and I recommend it to everybody who gets
Yeah,
the
I've
chance.
never had off ever in my entire life since I was 15, so I want to know what it's like.
Yeah, I got a little taste. Got lost like 90 pounds. Started working out.
See that?
And
Yeah, you
eating
got
better.
time to do it, and
Yeah,
less stress, I guess. I mean, you
those
might have
yeah
financial stress, but you have the time to look for a job, and then the other time is, oh, I get to work out, or I get to watch this or do this or that.
yeah. I got to spend time reading comics. It was great. It was great. So now I got a taste for what retirement might be, but it's still for me. I know yours is only a few years away. I've still got at least a decade or so left, maybe 15 years.
Yeah.
So I'm
I don't
further
know
off.
how long I'll go. I'm hoping for a layoff, because then it's like perfect, because I'll get the severance and the
Oh, you think your sector's on a downturn or something?
I
Because
don't know,
you're
but
tech, right? You're tech. You're not going anywhere.
I don't know. It could. We'll see.
Yeah, nothing is. Yeah, I thought mine was pretty stable. So you never know. COVID was
My
wicked.
desire is to retire at 55, but it'll probably be closer to 60, like 59 and a half, but
Yeah.
in reality. But I would like to switch to halftime if that opportunity presents itself.
Halftime, but not 5 days a week. Don't make sure you don't do that.
No, because then you'll end up staying
Yeah.
longer than the halftime, because you'll get
Yeah.
caught up in everything. I maybe like a Monday, Wednesday, and Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Like that would be good.
Yeah. And you still get the Monday holidays off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if they stoke you with Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you never get a holiday, paid holiday off. So that's no good.
Yeah.
Yeah, think through all the angles.
Yeah, because it's always usually Monday,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Most
almost
of them
always.
are
Yeah,
Monday.
most of them are.
Yeah.
Now, Barb's okay with you retiring and she's going to keep working, bring home the bacon.
I don't know.
You haven't told her yet?
I think I think she wants to work at least until her boss retires. If her boss retires, then I think she'll think differently.
That's cool. A lot of spouses are like, you retire, I retire, that sort of thing,
Yeah.
which is kind of a bummer.
If you could solve the medical problem, the game could
Everybody would
happen a
retire.
lot earlier.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody would be retiring. There's some like old guys where I work, man, that are hanging on, and I'm like, dude, what are you doing? And it's medical. It's medical for a
Yeah.
spouse or something. Don't want to rely on Medicare. It's pretty depressing.
Yeah,
But
I get
anyway,
it.
we have better
We
things to
better
talk
get
about.
on onto the show here.
Yeah, let's talk some Boom comics. We're gonna go look in our previews. These are Boom's DC offerings, December offerings for February. So the first one is February 8th. It's called Harrower, The first issue by Justin Jordan, my boy, with Brom Revel on art, who I am not familiar with. But I did love Spread an awful lot, so that's Justin Jordan. So I'm looking forward to checking this out at least. It looks like a nice horror book.
Got to remember that he did a lot of contributions to Cross, too, in that rotating teams.
I don't remember him on Crossed.
Yeah, he was on Cross, that long one. What was it? The one that was the ongoing.
The Plus 100?
The one that ran 100 issues.
Okay.
Yeah, he was on there. I like his stuff, and there's some stuff I don't care for, but he's had some really bad health issues lately.
Oh,
with
Justin
like
Jordan
diabetes
has?
and other stuff. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He's having a rough time getting his, you know how you get into that realm where you have to start experimenting with your dosages and stuff like that for blood pressure and all that. Well, he was having issues with it being too low or too high and having all kinds. Well, I follow him on Facebook, so
Yeah,
he's posting a lot of stuff.
I did not know that. That stinks. I know
Yeah, it does.
We're losing creator after creator, and it is kind of depressing.
And he's a fairly young guy.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. I would think he's younger than me.
Yeah. He's 30s or 40s, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think he's in his 40s if I had to guess.
I saw him at C2E2 and he was way younger than me.
Yeah.
Let's see. Something is Killing the Children's at issue 29. You reading that?
I'm buying it. I haven't read it in quite some time.
Yeah, I haven't read it.
And along with House of Slaughter.
Yeah, I
gotta
skipped that one.
get back on it. I am interested in reading Stuff of Nightmares. I have them, but I just love these like cover art designs. It looks so cool. The Francisco Francavilla covers are pretty amazing.
So you read Grimm, right?
I read the first 3 issues. I haven't read it since, but it's interesting concept.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It's on issue 8 now.
Yeah. I like Stephanie Phillips.
I do too. I like more of her stuff than I don't.
Really good.
Yeah. Rob Guillory, giving me Mosley. He's one I've been disappointed in since he left Chew. Haven't liked any of his stuff since then.
Yeah, he was an artist though, right? On Chew. He
Yeah.
wasn't the writer. Now he's a writer.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, he did that one. Was it Farmhand? You didn't like that?
Okay, yeah, I did like Farmhand. You're right.
Yeah, so he's coming off of Farmhand to do this.
Who's the other guy that does Chew?
Oh, God. I know he likes to smoke pot a lot, but he's really talented writer, the guy who writes Chew. I can't think of his name. He wrote Detective Comics too for a while.
John Layman.
Yeah, Layman.
Yeah.
Maybe
he's the one.
Pretty good.
Maybe he's who I'm thinking of that I haven't liked his stuff since Chew. I think it's the writer that I'm thinking of, not the artist. Yeah. Know Your Station. I'm getting ready to crack that first issue open tonight. I'm excited about reading that one. It's on its 3rd in February, at least.
Behold the Behemoth. I haven't read yet.
Nope, haven't read that one.
I know it's out. I know it's in my box. I know I bagged and boarded it.
Once Upon a Time at the End of the World. That's sitting there. I haven't read that one yet, but that's Jason Aaron. I need to make some time for that one.
Yeah, I tend to like his own comics more than his superhero stuff.
Specs was fun. I did read Specs. Magic spectacles that grant wishes, kind of fun. Ordered out of the back of a comic book. Thought that was a neat little concept. I like the first
Yep.
issue. Not sure where it's going to go, but it was fun.
Yeah, and that's the final issue. The approach is Jeremy Hahn.
Yeah, the guys from The Beauty.
He wrote that. Yeah, The Beauty. I really like The Beauty. I like Jeremy Hahn. That guy's cool as hell.
Yeah, I like
He's been
them.
on my podcast before.
I like them both.
Keith used to drunk dial him in on
Really?
DC Noise.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, I like Jeremy Hahn. He's good people. Damn Them All, Simon Spurrier.
Now, Spurrier wrote
Charlie Adler.
Simon Spurrier wrote a
Walking
bunch
Dead.
of Cross too, didn't he?
Yeah, he's all over the place. He's been doing a lot of Boom stuff lately. He's doing Marvel now too. I can't remember which one.
Yeah, he is.
Eve, Children of that book was hot for a while on the Hot 10 or whatever.
I skipped it entirely.
I think it got optioned.
Not a Mighty Morphin guy.
I think that's why it was hot. Yeah, me neither. That was John Mayo.
Yeah.
He loves that stuff.
I wish I'd read this Magic from the beginning. I didn't realize that it was Jed McKay. But I don't know I never played Magic, so I don't know if I'd like it anyway.
I like it, and I have never played any card or RPG ever.
Also, it still worked for you?
Yeah, I understood what was going on. Yeah, and I felt like I was in the world.
Oh, that's cool.
Liked it. Dune I like too, but I decided I'm trying to cut back, so I'm not buying everything. I'm trying to like reel myself into some reality where I can sort of keep caught up.
You know what that means, though, Mike? I mean, in reality, you're not going to read more than 20 or 30 comics a week. So that means you've got to cut yourself down to 120, 150 comics a month. Can you do that?
I don't know. We'll see. I did drop my value from $1,400 a month to $700, so that's pretty substantial.
That is substantial.
That is a substantial cutback.
And as long as in 3 months you're not on eBay buying those up that you missed.
Yeah.
That's
so
what we got.
So far, I'm 2 months in, and I'm feeling pretty good.
Proud of you.
Some of the DC stuff gives me itchy. Like, it gives me anxiety that I'm not getting them. But
yeah, that would be really hard.
They're on the app. You know, I gotta keep thinking. Well, I can still enjoy the story. You know,
But you have every DC since 1972, so that had to be really hard.
Yeah, that gets there. There's two things that were the hardest. The DC, because I was buying everything, and then the Epic collections, because I had a full run of every Epic collection. It was just hard to detach myself, even though I have like 6 bookcases full of them. I was like, I can't read all this stuff. And at some point, I'm gonna have to like get rid of it. Like, so it made no sense.
Yeah, I know exactly how you feel. I love to read comics. I love the idea of having comics. I don't like to sort them or store them or.
Well, you know what? What really drove? I'll be honest with you. What really is driving my cutbacks is not financial or whatever. It's more physical. I am getting old, and I can't carry these short boxes, like I can only do like 3 at a time, and then I'm exhausted going up and down flights of stairs, and I don't want to kill myself carrying a box. You know what I mean? So it just like, this is stuff that could hurt me now, and I don't want to. I don't want to like break a hip.
But if that's a heck of a way to go, though,
Well, at least,
comics
yeah.
killed him.
You'd be like, wow, this guy really loved his life. He lived the comics and he died the comics.
Exactly. He was no poser. He was
Yeah,
legit.
my passion for the material and stuff hasn't died. It's just the physicality of it. The storing of it is expensive. It's just, I ask myself, well, what's the most important thing? And when it comes down to it, it's reading the story.
Yeah. And I could tell it in your voice, to listen to your podcasts, when you were talking about not taking physical comics when you go home to visit your parents or whatever. You take your tablet and then you started reading on digital, and it was kind of a sea change for you, because you'd always been resistant to digital before that, kind of, where you had friends that were all digital and you were like, no, I like the feel of the paper. But once you started reading it on digital out of convenience, you're like, oh, it's not so bad.
It's more because of, I don't have to lug it around, and I don't have to put it in a box, and I can pull it up on demand. It's like it has its benefits.
I have 300 comics in my tablet right now that plus whatever I could buy if I wanted to. That's two long boxes?
Yeah.
Or a couple of 2 or 3 short boxes. Can't lug those around with me.
And for me, like the DC app, you get everything now. That Ultra, like and it's only 1 month behind. Like, it's like right there.
Yeah, I'm more than 1 month behind.
Yeah. So like the DC stuff, it's like they want you to go to that, and it's so much cheaper, and you're not. You could still enjoy all the stories. So Marvel is the same way. With Marvel Unlimited, everything is there. Yes, you have to wait a little bit, but you can read old, you can read new. I mean, there's so much stuff. And then Comixology kind of fills the gap. I mean, there's some issues that they don't have, and Unlimited seems to it's like a Netflix model where it rotates stuff in and rotates them out. But there's still a ton of stuff. Like, you can never like go on there and not find anything to read. So, and it's only like $5.99 a month. That's nothing.
Yeah, that's really a good deal. Well, I mean, I guess if you break down the $99 intro price on Ultra, that's not that much.
Oh, heck no.
It's like $60 for the Marvel thing for the year.
You could read like 3 comics a week and be making out like a bandit. Because at $4 a book, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's slide into Dark Horse and take a look at Blue Book.
I'm excited for this one.
Oh yeah.
What really interests me is it's true stories about like alien encounters. So, I don't know a lot about what's been claimed, and I think that Tiny Onion is what he likes to call himself, but I think it's gonna be great.
Yeah, he has really surprised me. I remember when he came out, he's like a Scott Snyder protege, and I was like, oh god, we don't need any more of those people.
I like him more than Scott Snyder personally.
He has surpassed the master at this point in my mind too. His stuff has been really good and solid, and I was totally wrong about him.
Well, you know how some writers like it flows better in your head when you read it. Like he flows better in my head than Snyder does. Like it just everything clicks with me no matter what genre he's in. His writing just is very understandable.
Yeah, all the dark metal stuff, that Scott Snyder stuff, that he went down a rabbit hole that I did not want to go down, and ever since then I've been kind of turned off.
I do like that firefighter one, the female firefighters, Dark Spaces. That was really good. And what he's doing with Amazon, he's got a lot. There's a Western one you would like a lot called Canary. That's really good.
What's it on?
On Amazon. What is it called? Comixology Unlimited or it's Comixology Direct.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Exclusive. He's pretty much doing stuff at Image and on that app. But he always has like new comics on Comixology.
I might have to bite the bullet and just buy that then. It's only $6 a month, you said.
Well, I mean, you can get that, and Night of the Ghouls was really good. The other one that he released Night of the Ghouls to print eventually, and same with the that other religious one with angels and stuff. I forget what that one's called, but it had Capullo drawing it. We Are Demons, I think is what it's called. We Are Demons.
Yeah, it was like 3 issues.
Yeah. Bless you. Wouldn't be a podcast without you seizing.
Allergic to podcasts.
Yeah, she's allergic to me podcasting.
Now, Where Monsters Lie is Kyle Starks, who's one of my favorite writers right now, and Peter Kowalski doing the art. It looks really great. I'm looking at some of these pages, and it's got a scratchiness to it that I really love. Looking forward to this.
I've heard really good things because I know that the guys that own that Challengers comic store had preview copies of this, and they're always pumping this.
Now, I'm probably going to sit out Masters of the Universe, Masterverse. Probably won't dip my toe in that one.
I like this stuff.
Do a lot
I'll be checking it out.
A lot more licensed properties than I do. I do some, but not that many.
But look at the art team. You got Sergio Aragonis. Well, he's doing a cover.
Yeah, I'm looking at the interior page they share, and it doesn't do anything for me. It's okay. It's fine.
It looks very Kelly Jones.
I can see that. Yeah, I can see that.
Especially the bottom panel. If you read any Kelly Jones Batman, like when near the time he got it Night Quest or Nightfall, I like that.
Probably not going to get this Stranger Things.
I haven't even watched it.
You've never watched the Stranger Things?
Not yet.
Not a single episode of any of the seasons?
No.
Wow. You would love it. What are you waiting for?
I don't know. I don't know.
You're
a nostalgia guy. I don't know if it follows
guy.
in the Goonies thing, and I've never been a Goonies fan, so.
Yeah, and you know what? There is some D&D role playing type stuff in there, and you're not a role player, so yeah.
But I have read some like Dungeons and Dragons IDW stuff and really enjoyed it. And okay. I used to watch. You're talking about cartoons. Do you remember the old Dungeons and Dragons animated? I liked that.
Yeah. Yeah, you need to watch that.
I've just never got. I guess I don't have the imagination to pretend like roll dice and say, oh, I just shot 12 arrows at you. No, you didn't. I didn't see them come. I don't get it. My brain, I don't know. Maybe it's my engineer side to it. I don't have that side of a brain. That's why I read so much, because I can't imagine it on my own. Maybe because I read more comics and don't read don't read novels.
That makes sense. We'll have to put you on a session.
Yeah. Sounds like
that's
your brother's spending a lot more time in gaming land than he is in comics lately.
Yeah, they've been doing a ton of those RPG podcasts. And yeah, so and then he plays a lot of video games. So yeah, I'm not sure if he read. He promised me he was going to read some comics on his vacation this week, but I haven't checked in to see if that's the case.
Oh, is he off for the next 2 weeks, or
He was
just
off
week?
for this week. He's off this
Okay.
week. So for him to not be here for the podcast, speaks.
Yeah,
He could have got this stuff done another day besides podcast night. But hey, my loss is the listeners' gain because they get to listen to you.
they're probably tortured right now.
And then we have Space Job #1, David Goodman and Alvara Sarasica. And this is
it's like a sci-fi thing.
Like an Orville type thing.
Yeah, it sounds like a captain on a ship, but I didn't go for this one. I didn't get this one.
Orville. If it's like Orville, I might check it out.
Murky World is Richard Corbin. I think I actually have this like in a different Kickstarter version of a book. Because Richard Corbin is very prevalent in like heavy metal and stuff in a horror genre.
I'm really happy that Dark Horse has a Star Wars license back, at least something.
The kids line, all ages.
I hope it does well. I'm not reading any of it, but I hope it does well.
Yeah, that was another one that I cut back on. Like I got into the thing like, well, I was so into the Star Wars, I just didn't have time to read it. And yes, they're probably good investments because you never know what's going to pop up in it. But one of the things we're talking about things to hate in collecting. I hate carrying around comics and having to merge them. Mm-hmm. I also hate the idea of selling them. Like I've sold comics before on eBay and I fucking hate it. Like that's one thing that I'm going to have to do eventually, and I just absolutely hate it. I hate to deal with the people. I hate to deal with having to package it and go to the post office. I would want to charge shipping and handling because that's your time. I mean, it's time to pack it. It's time to drive it to the, spend gas to go to the post office to get the box and then to pay for the packaging. Like, that's why they call it, postage and handling.
Right.
Yeah, and then having to deal with people.
Deal with awful people, a lot of them. So
I mean, the only thing I was successful at is if I had a comic book and I thought it was like a 9.5, I would give it a VF just because I didn't want to deal with it, if you know what I mean.
Right.
So I would know what the grade is because I have a grading guide, at least the way comics were graded. With the very fine and the VGs and
the good old days.
And yeah, the good old days. I know how to grade them. I have the guide to look at as a reference, and then I always just knock it down a grade, just because I don't want to deal with anybody.
Right.
Because there's like people. I always say this to people. There's people that if you've ever watched Clerks, that are like eggs. That guy with the eggs.
Yep.
And I don't like to deal with that. Like that's not the fun part of comics. That's horrible.
When you remember, if you've been listening a long time, I don't know if you remember when Bob was on the show, the third host.
I started when Bob was on the show, but I don't know if I started at the very beginning.
He
I
would
think it was
pull.
towards the tail end of his
Well, on Wednesdays
podcasting.
when we'd go to the comic shop together, he would grab like the stack of comics out of the new release rack, like all of the same one, and he'd look at them in the light. And he'd go down and he'd pick the one that was the most pristine, and he'd put all the
Yeah,
others back.
that
Every time
that
he'd go
drives.
through every single one. I'll be like, "What are you doing, dude?" He's like, "I just want the best one." Like that's
And see,
crazy.
I don't have the patience for that. Like
No,
I don't even find that fun, like at
no.
all. I so there's parts of the hobby that I don't like, and that's one of my least favorites. Like like when I went to Albuquerque and went to go buy back issues, the place that I went to, they grade real specific, and they would have like, oh, this is, like a 7.5. And she had actually opened too, and she says, really, this is like a 9, but here's why I graded it, because somebody on the letters page marked it with a pen, like so like yeah, I was like, I don't care. I want the comic book. But yeah, I don't find that appealing.
Yeah, that's another turn off of the hobby. Yeah, I really like reading them though.
Well, you have that horror story that you mentioned last time with Coach, what's his name? So
Yeah,
like yeah, I don't want to deal with
yeah, Landis.
Coach Landis, yeah.
You don't want any Coach Landis in your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And that's what it's going to be. So I don't have a. I'm like I'm going to have to build my little display and just do regional shows and sell them all that way. Hang out and sell at regional comic cons.
I think Aaron Myers has it right. Like I think he's got a flow going that works for him, and he sells stuff regionally, and he sells stuff through his Facebook store and eBay, and he seems to do well with it.
I thought he did I
He's
thought
a
he
little.
did Instagram and Twitter too, didn't he?
Yeah, he does Instagram. He doesn't sell on Twitter. He posts what he bought. He says, "Oh, I got this for 5 cents or whatever," but he never like puts it up like for sale on Twitter. He sells it off of Instagram and sells off of his Facebook page. And I
No,
still buy from him, but
but if he posts two
he's not
things that he bought
he's
that
in
are the
the
same, and you see and you
yeah.
want it, you'll tell him on Twitter, you'll tell him I'll take that. Right? So you
Well,
might not sell on Twitter, but you try to buy on Twitter.
he never says yes, because the stuff I want, he wants to keep. So
Uh
like I always know he's going to say like over my dead body is like one of his responses to me. Because he posts a lot of obscure stuff that nobody cares about, but I do. And yeah, I'll want those. Like those are the ones that I usually reply to. I want the stuff that nobody else wants, if that makes sense.
yeah. But you also want the stuff people want too. You want all the stuff.
Yes. Yeah, I would want every comic book, but I'm being a little more. I'm trying to be a little more selective instead of the Homer Simpson mentality in the back issue department. Like like this year I'm going to focus on Doom Patrol and Iron Man and Cap, like volume 1. And that's it.
Yeah, I
If
mean,
I run across Adobe Gillis or something real obscure, I will get that as well, but I'm not going to like actively seek it out, if that makes any sense.
yeah, if you stop entirely buying new stuff, you still have runs to fill in, and you can fill your collection and still be around 100,000 comics, which is pretty freaking impressive, dude.
Yeah, I'm probably already there. Because I haven't inventoried a whole closet. Like that's a task for when I have time. But
Oh, you're at
I'm
100,000
probably
already?
I think I am because I haven't inventoried an entire guest bedroom's closet of comic books.
Yeah, that could easily be 1,000 comics or more, or 10,000 comics or more in
Yeah,
there.
so it could be 10,000. Yeah, it'll be close.
Yeah, I knew you were in the 90s.
And I have 2 boxes down here that I haven't inventoried, like 2 long boxes that I bought from Eric that are like the Flintstones and Bugs Bunny stuff. I bought a lot of funny books from him, and I haven't inventoried them yet because they're the hardest to inventory because there are a lot of Dell and Gold Key, and they don't number them on the cover. They put it inside the indicia, and it's like you have to open up every single one and figure out
Oh,
what number it is. Yeah, it
you went
sucks.
you went to Wisconsin to Cowabunga?
No, he got a somebody sold him a bunch of like obscure stuff, and he knew I was into the Looney Tunes, and he's like, "Well, I'll give you these for like less than $1 each." And I said, "Okay."
Sold.
So he actually, yeah, he shipped me out 2 long boxes. I still have to inventory.
That'll be fun. It'll be like Christmas.
Yeah, I just don't like to inventory those because they're not collector friendly in terms of I have to unbag it. I have to look in the Adisha to find out what number it is and then inventory it.
What
And
if
then
you
I have
just
to do
had
that
your
for
app?
each one.
What if you just had your app open to that, and then you pulled the cover out and matched the cover?
If there were like 10 issues in that, that would be good. But if you have like 300, it's a lot of scrolling.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I was thinking short runs, but back then they weren't short runs.
Yeah, those Dell runs and Gold Key runs ran a long time. But anyway, we're in Hellboy.
And I skipped over all the Manuela stuff. I got out of the habit and then never went back. The good folks at Comics for Fun and Profit have been doing 2 episodes a week for quite some time now, and it's all thanks to, first of all, Jason, and second of all, our patrons who allow us to add the space on our server, broadcast more, store more, share more with you, the listeners. I'm envious of those of you who have unlimited storage and media server capabilities. We pay for ours here at the C4FAP. It ain't cheap. We thank you so much for those of you who go to patreon.com/comicsfunprofit and contribute at any level to say thanks, to say I want to be a part of your Slack channel conversations. I want to get exclusives. I want to get early access. I want to get ad-free access. I want to get swag. I want to get some free stuff. Whatever your reasoning is, we appreciate it at any level because it does make a difference. So from the bottom of Kyle and I and Jason's heart, thank you for contributing.
I haven't read the Kevin Smith stuff yet. I need
No,
to still get to that. I'm a fan of his, so I definitely bought him.
I read that first issue. It was okay.
A quick stop.
Yeah, not enough for me to keep reading though.
I still want to see that movie. I'm waiting for it to stream on something I have.
Yeah, the new Clerks.
Yeah.
The Ones was really good. I enjoyed that first issue a lot. Bendis, who knew? But a guy named Jacob Edgar was the also a writer, and he did a good job. I'm not sure who did the most heavy lifting, if it was Bendis or him, but I really liked that first issue where they kind of put the team together. It's pretty cool concept.
Mm-hmm. I'm always intrigued by these like the final girls, but the cover price keeps me away from trying these things.
Yeah, were these out and they're just now being collected, or are these OGNs?
Some of them are original OGN. Some of them are in print for the first time. They were digital, and
Oh, gotcha.
yeah. I am getting a Spy Superb. It's Matt Kent. I like him a lot. He is a cool dude.
Matt Kent, yeah.
Oh my God. Like, you need to get stuff signed by him. He'll light your book on fire. He'll cut out a page and on a certain page. And it's so fun to watch it. Like, because some people are like, well, can you sign it? And he's like, well, do you want a standard or do you want the super sign? And most people say, well, I want the super sign. And then he pulls out a lighter and lights a page on fire. It's like, it's fun to watch them like look at, like, be shocked if they don't know what he's gonna do.
Would you freak out if he did that to one of your books?
Oh, he did. I've had him. I can't remember. There was one called Red Hand, or I can't remember what it was called, but that's the one he burned. And then I had another one. I think it was about the giant, and he like took out scissors and cut out a page. It's a purposeful page, though. It doesn't destroy the story. Like, he knows where to cut and he knows where to burn. Do you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I would hope so. That's cool.
So yeah, that's pretty fun. Plus, he's a fun guy. Like, he just he lives life. His wife is cool as hell too. Him and Jeff Lemire are just awesome people.
Yeah, I can see that.
And they're buddies, so. Looking forward to reading Shock Shop, but I haven't read it yet.
Yeah.
Same with Only Teenage Wasteland.
I've got that first issue sitting there. I want to read that one.
Dead Mall you seem to love, but I haven't. I don't understand it. Like,
yeah, that's where
I
mean I'm also confused, but I'm also enjoying it a little bit. I like it. I don't love it, but I like it.
Did it talk about that in the first solicit? Like, it was a sort of like a mall that's alive.
I don't
It's
remember
like
any
it's
of
like
that
a
now.
living. I thought it was going to be like more like Dawn of the Dead, in the shopping mall.
Yeah, I thought it was a zombie living. Yeah,
But
Night of
it's
the Living Dead
not.
type. No, not so far.
The mall is an entity in itself. And I just don't get it, because there's like a scene on the last one with the escalator that seemed to like go forever. And the one kid like just decided, well, I'm going to jump off. The other one just kept riding. I don't know. It's just so bizarre.
It is. It's and I can't like say it's a great comic, but I'm interested.
You're entertained. Yeah, you're along for the ride. There's
and
two books that I scratched my head. This one and the Astronaut Down from Aftershock. Like, I get the general principles, so I can discuss it with somebody, but I just don't like. If you ask me to describe the inner meaning or what's really, I can't put my finger on it.
Yeah, I didn't read that one either.
Yeah.
Big fan of Resident Alien. It's finishing up its 6th volume, maybe.
I'm looking forward to White Savior. It just looks weird. It looks like a comedy thing.
I thought that was the one that was like a samurai thing.
Yeah, but it's like a guy that, I don't know, drops out of nowhere, and he's like a guy out of time.
Yeah, those can be fun.
I should put, he actually wrote to me, and not too many writers write to me as like, oh, would you like to interview me, kind of thing, and here's the thing. And it's like, No, I don't interview. Like I've never been interested in that, but maybe I should have thrown him
Send him our
to
way.
Jason. Send
Yeah.
him to Jason, yeah.
Yeah. That's Eric Nguyen.
Because I've never been into that. I like interviewing collectors, but I don't like interviewing like writers or artists.
Too much prep work
I've
for
had
me.
writers on artists on our show, but it's more like buddy talk,
Right.
you know.
I did a couple back in the day, but it's been a long time.
The only guy that I've like professionally talked to about something coming out is Andrew Peepoy. But I'm like a super fan of Andrew Peepoy's.
Yeah. Did he do a Gesser cover?
I want him to do a Gesser cover. I haven't asked him yet. I have one cover done.
Nice.
And it's the interior artist that did it. One of my goals this year is to have it lettered. So I'll move to the next
2
step.
weeks. You've got 2 weeks.
No, not this year. Sorry, next year.
You better go get on it.
Yeah.
I really
like Gru.
Is Bill's done?
Bill's farther. He's got it lettered. He's got the art done. I think he just has to put it together and do the cover and then the logo. And I think he has a logo. He just hasn't put the logo on the cover.
Is he gonna kickstart it?
I don't know what he's waiting for. To tell you the truth, because I think he's close. He's a lot closer than I am.
Well, I would think in your 4 to 6 hour talks every other Sunday that you guys would talk about that stuff.
And we do occasionally.
We're
procrastinators. It's hard. Like if I had 8 months off, I would definitely get it.
Exactly. That's exactly. It takes time. Creative stuff, especially creative stuff.
I'll be honest with you. I work so damn hard during the week. I'm exhausted in the weekend, and I just want to veg. And I don't always get to veg. I got to take care of some stuff, but I want to read and just get ready for the week.
Do you get that little bit of dread on Sundays that you're like, oh, my weekend's almost over, I'm going to have to go back to work?
Sunday nights are when reality sinks in and you're like, oh, crap.
Yeah.
And then Friday is my favorite day of the week because it just feels like I have that extra day the next day. And then Saturday night, I'm still feeling pretty comfortable. And Sunday night, I feel like crap.
Yeah, Saturdays are pretty awesome. You read like 10, 20 comics on Saturdays sometimes.
I read the bulk of my stuff on Saturdays, but I've been trying to be better and trying to like spread stuff out during the week. This week I've been bad, but the last 2 weeks I've been really good. But you want to jump into Dynamite?
Yeah, man, you'll probably have to do the heavy lifting here. I don't read much of their stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna get Draculina. I'm excited for that. I like Draculina. I like Christopher Priest on this stuff. And I'm Barbarella is really good as far as like reading good sci-fi.
I'm gonna watch
really
it
good
because it's got Sydney Sweeney as Barbarella. I'm down for that.
I enjoy the hell out of Barbarella comics. They're a Geek Brunch favorite. We like that. I've bought the Mad Balls and Garbage Pail Kids, but I haven't read it yet. It looks crazy, but what really got me to buy it isn't the fact that, oh, it's just a Dynamite, I got to get it. But Sholly Fish is really talented. He writes a lot of all ages DC comics.
He does some of the really Scooby-Doo stuff, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's well versed in like continuity and stuff. So when he does Scooby-Doo and like a team up, he like digs deep in the catalog and he like gets the voices right, and like I just like him. So yeah, this is more of a probably a Kyle thing, like
Yeah.
the when Mad Balls were around. Like I was
Yeah.
already phasing out of toys when Mad Balls were around, but my brother had Mad Balls, so I know what they are. And Pail Kids were around for Garbage Pail Kids were the cards, but I never bought them. I mean, I'd look at people's bought the cards and it's like this is a gross card, but
Does Barbarella have any kind of special powers, or is she just like a sci-fi adventurer?
she's like a sci-fi adventurer, but I think she was cloned. Like
Uh,
I don't think she. But Barbarella, God, that was one of the first things I ever watched on Fox was Jane Fonda and Barbarella.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah, it's a movie. I don't know if what came first, if the novels and the books came out first, or if Barbarella the movie came out first, but I just like Dynamite. I'm not getting Darkwing Duck. I did get Gargoyles because I'm really curious, and I got the facsimile edition because it's Amanda Connor
Yeah.
to see where it goes.
I'm kind of
I
interested in getting. Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
I'm kind of interested in this coffee table book, Supercade, that they're doing. Visual history of the video game age, 85 to 2001. That looks pretty.
Oh yeah,
That looks really rad.
those are fun.
Yeah.
I wonder how this is really a book, not a
It's a
comic book, right?
book. It's a book. Yeah.
But yeah, it's got like all the systems I've had.
Yeah.
I had an NES. I didn't go get a Super NES. I had a Sega. I was a Sega guy. So I was like, I had the Sega Master System, the Genesis, the Atari. I had Atari, but not the Atari Jaguar. That was like the higher end 16-bit. I never had a PlayStation, but I had a Dreamcast and an Xbox. So
I had I was a Nintendo guy. I did not go Sega. I shied away
I,
from
I
them.
I was driven by the sports, and I'm even thinking about getting a gaming system because I found out my neighbor is into the Madden, and I would love to play him Madden because that's the kind of games I like to play is
It's
Madden and
changed a lot,
baseball.
man. When's the last time you played?
Um, PlayStation 2
Okay. Madden
and
now
Xbox.
is rough. It's tough. You might pick it up, no problem, but I struggled with it because I hadn't played for a long time and I was like, oh geez.
Yeah,
I have an
that's
Xbox
what
One.
I actually told him, but I would always have a strategy, and I used to have a coworker and we'd play till like 3 a.m. and then go to work. It was crazy. We were very addicted to it.
Oh, I used to love that too,
Red
yeah.
Sonja, Hell Sonja. I think I read the first issue and liked this one. It was pretty good. I love the Sonja stuff more than I do the Vampirella stuff. Cherish, I need to get into. This was actually a character designed by Silvestri, who I'm a big Image founder guy, and he created the look and feel of Cherish. Lord of the Jungle, Tarzan, you can't go wrong, and it's written by Dan Jurgens. First issue just came out recently.
Okay, that makes sense.
Sweetie, I liked as a first issue. I thought it was good. Unbreakable Red Sonja, I haven't read yet, but it's Jim Zub, and he's known for doing Conan. He's got the new Conan at Titan coming out. Vampirella Strikes. This one is like if you wanted to go back to the 90s and read the Harris run, this is what Vampirella Strikes is like.
Okay.
And then there's Vampirella versus Red Sonja. They have a lot of good writers, like Dan Abnett is writing it, and their artists have picked up their game. I think, like, there's some samples down there from interiors from issue 1.
I never thought it was that bad. I mean, other people used to poo-poo it a little bit, but I thought it was fine. I never had a problem with their art.
Yeah, they're very pulpy, and there's not a lot of like thinking, and maybe that's why I like Dynamite so much.
It's like a Zenoscope type. I like those because I can just tune out.
Zenoscope is a little more, in my opinion, sophisticated. Like, the stories are more, they're well written. Everybody shits on them because, oh, the cover's got some babe on it. But they're big into continuity and building their Zenoscope library, and it's really good storytelling. Dynamite's a little more like, I'd like to decompress at the end of a hard work day, and I just want to, like, just escape for 5 minutes before I go to bed.
Right.
That's the kind of reading that where, like, where your mind isn't like fully ready to think, and you just want to enjoy something before you go to bed. That's the way I think of Dynamite.
That's all comics for me. Perfect escape before I go to bed.
Oh, I have to read mine in the morning, the majority of them. But
yeah, I'm a night guy. Puts me to sleep.
Are we gonna do Aftershock too, or?
No. We're done.
Okay.
Now let's shoot over to our good friends at Cover Price, and I believe you're going to take us through the top 10.
All righty. Let me see if I have it up here. Cover Price. The runners up, and this is the real stuff. All right. So we have at number 1, Joker, the Man Who Stopped Laughing, the Lee Barmejo cover. No special reason other than it's just an awesome looking cover, I think.
Awesome cover, yeah.
Yeah. That, and sometimes I look at these and I'm like, big deal. I hate to say it, but you sold 14 copies on eBay. I don't care.
It's not that big of a deal.
8. Well, I that's just what I think. Like, 14 copies could be 3 dudes that are just trying to buy up that issue.
Yep.
So, but this is pretty substantial. They sold 86 copies. That's more substantial. In 7-day trend, 142% with a high of $20 for a raw copy, and $12 for a fair market value, and it's a $5 book. So it's, you made a $7 profit if you just go off the fair market value.
I don't even know what that means.
Fair market value, it's what you should pay. You shouldn't pay 20 is what they're saying.
Yeah, but they don't list it all the time. Cheaper. Sometimes they include it, sometimes they don't. So I don't understand the fair market value. Why doesn't everything they list have a fair market value then?
Yeah, and who are they to say what a fair market value is?
Yeah. I mean, they're volunteers, right? I mean, they might be.
Well, a lot of these guys are spec people. I mean, they all have YouTube podcasts if you want to track them down. And they know sort of what is selling, but they're also like Wizard Magazine. They kind of drive the demand, even if it's not there, because a lot of people listen to them.
Yeah, I think the CBSI people, and the Cover Price people don't like each other. Seems like sometimes they throw shade at each other about their picks.
Yeah, a lot of time there's a lot of overlap though.
Yeah, that's true.
So this is Amazing Spider-Man #1, the M&M cover. You've talked about this, I think, 2
Yeah.
weeks in a row.
Yeah.
And yeah, if you got in on it, great. It'll probably hold its value if it stays to the number of copies it had, because there's a lot of M&M people that probably want this. But
Yeah. I want it
I have
forever.
no interest in it. Yeah. I don't know. I've never been. I like Opus Comics. You know, you talk about mashing music with the medium, but I don't know if I'm so much into having a character on the cover. I get it. I get if you're a fan, you probably want that, but that's not for me.
Yeah.
Uncanny X-Men 229 from 1988. This one's interesting that this is getting hot because it appeared, if you've read Wolverine with Patch in Mandapore, a tiger is a really big deal in that comic book, and it's her first appearance in this comic book, and she's supposedly speculating to have a casting announcement in the Daredevil Born Again series, so that will be interesting. She's a real strong female character, and she's kind of like a gang lord in Mandapore. So you got to kind of be pretty badass to be in Mandapore and be a leader, and that's Tiger. So there you go.
Yeah, it's kind of
Uh,
got me geeked up. I think I want to finish. I still haven't finished the Netflix Daredevil, so I probably need to go back and finish that season that I haven't finished yet.
I haven't either. I haven't finished season 3. I still need
Yeah,
to do Iron Fist. I think I did Iron Fist. I did Jessica Jones. I need Luke Cage season 2
I haven't done
and
Luke Cage.
Daredevil season 3. But in all fairness, I get, like, I can't just like go back to back to back. I'll like do a season as I'm exercising, and then I have to take a break and move on to something else because I just can't do like season after season. I need to switch it up. Um,
Do you have Apple?
I
Did
just canceled it
you watch
because
Severance?
no, I just watched Ted Lasso.
Okay.
We had one of those things like where Barb got a new phone from Verizon and we had Apple for a year, and we don't have a lot of time to watch TV together because I get home from work, I watch one TV show with Barb and I pass out.
Right.
And then I get ready for the morning and I get up like at 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. and get on the elliptical and watch some TV. But yeah, there look like a lot of quality TV shows on Apple, but the thing I wanted to really watch was Ted Lasso, and we marshaled through that.
Yeah, those are
I
good.
love it, and I will renew it as soon as Ted Lasso comes back on. So that was Uncanny X-Men, and then we have Spider-Man: The Lost Years. This is becoming big because of Hallows Eve. If you've been reading Amazing Spider-Man, I think it's 14. You it's like a prequel to the Dark Web. You kind of learn who Hallows Eve. It really surprised me who it was and how she became Hallows Eve, because I didn't expect it to be driven by Madeline Pryor, but I was pretty surprised on who it was. But this is her first appearance, is in Spider-Man: The Lost Years #1, which is hot. And that one had 24 copies sold, 7-day trend of 133%, a high sale of $65 for a CGC 9.8 and a raw near mint of 15. That's still pretty good because that was a book you could probably find in the $2 or dollar bin.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Uh, I don't think I have that. I have a lot of comics, but I don't think I have Spider-Man: The Lost Years. I have everything else. Um, Daredevil 254. This is 1988. this is because of the new TV series Born Again, and this is the first appearance of Typhoid Mary. She's a big player in Daredevil, and she's schizophrenic and crazy, and she's dating the Kingpin now. So it's like, what the hell? I'm used to Vanessa being the Kingpin's woman, but now he's with Typhoid Mary. We got Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. This is a 1 in 25. I don't get the ratio variance, but this one is selling pretty good because it has a high sale of $80 for a raw copy. That's pretty high for a 1 in 25, because usually a 1 in 25, I think $25. That's just the way I think. And this one's going for 80, so it's quite high. What was that guy's name that was a Moon Girl fan? I forget his name.
Rock, yeah.
Rock. Yeah,
Yeah.
Rock. He's got to be happy about this one.
Yeah, he's probably happy that he's coming all back now.
Yeah. Infinite Crisis number 5, the regular edition. This is because Blue Beetle, they released the Blue Beetle movie poster. I'm really happy about who plays him. It's the guy that's in the Karate. What is that show called? Karate Kid?
Cobra Kai.
Cobra Kai, thank you.
Yeah.
Karate Kid is a Legionnaire. But I'm all caught up on Cobra Kai, and I like the casting of that. I think he's going to be great.
Yeah,
Jaime is not my
forward
favorite. He's not my favorite Blue Beetle. Ted Kord is, but there's been a lot of, there's been Dan Garrett, Ted Kord, and now Jaime. And everybody before Jaime's more driven by like armor. All the other ones before him, the first guy was a scarab. Ted Kord was more like a guy with tech, who the Watchmen guy is based out of.
If I was a betting man, I would have thought that we would have got a Booster Gold movie before a Blue Beetle, but what do I know?
Well, this makes marketing sense. Like if people have a Peter Parker mentality because he's like a high school kid.
Yeah, I gotcha.
And he comes across that alien suit, so I don't know. He could have appeal to people that like Spider-Man.
Yeah, makes sense.
I think it would be weird to push a Booster Blue Beetle because they're so based on humor. When they get them two together, it's like a buddy cop thing. But humor is kind of hard to do if you don't cast it right. They'd have to be like the Odd Couple. You'd have to have like Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau or something. Like, I don't know.
That's true.
Some two people that work really good together and just naturally. So the first 7 days, I actually bought this. I didn't even know it was a bad idea comic. I was looking at previews and I said, oh, I'm going to get this, and turned out to be a bad idea comic. But we're going to cover it on the next Geek Brunch. But we both bought it because we went through previews and said, let's buy it. We didn't know it was a bad idea comic book, but it's selling for a lot. And this is one comic I stopped getting bad idea. So if I can turn around a $40 or $35, I might
Heck yeah.
I might sell it as soon as I read it. Just read it for the show and then you're gone. Because bad idea, as much as I like their books, I mean they're quality books. I fucking hate their shenanigans. Excuse my language.
I get it. I get that I get their concept, and they do lean into it. And some of their ideas are funny, but I find it annoying from a trying to actually buy their stuff situation. So
I stopped. If they annoyed me, they're high up there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm just done. But so I bought a bad idea comic by accident, and it turns out that there's a huge demand for this. because nobody bought it. And the Bad Idea fans are like the Valiant fans before them. They're like a cult. I did a Valiant podcast, and you'll understand the cult mentality once you get into it. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So I understand that people get rocks and get pins, and I get what they're going after. Star Wars Darth Vader, this guy's been in here for, it seems like, off and on for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
But it's Doc Gray for his first appearance.
But we really haven't. I mean, we all think she's coming, and it seems like a slam dunk to me. But we still haven't had a single announcement, right, of any show.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah,
It's a raw of 119. See, this is something that would, since I stopped getting Star Wars, I might just offload. Just to focus stuff down a little bit. But and then I can still read all the material because it's on the app.
Yeah.
And it's not going anywhere. Disney is not going to decide to sell Star Wars. I'm sorry. It's just too much value to them. Conan, I could see, like, you better jump on the print copy because you don't know how long it's going to last or where it's going to be. But Star Wars, now that Disney owns it, it ain't going nowhere. Miles Morales, Spider-Man. This is a Peach Momoko costume B, 1 in 200. And these are the ones that I go kind of big deal. Because it's a 1 in 200, I expect the cost to be about 200.
Right, better be.
Because that's what a retailer is going to sell it for around.
Or more.
So it's like, I'm not shocked. They're rare. I don't know how much I miss the sales numbers. I miss
really do.
having a knowledge of where some of these books are just placing. Like, are they in the 20,000 range or are they above that? Like, this one could have been, if I had to guess, they probably had a 60,000 print run on Miles Morales, I would say. Relaunch, It might even be higher. I don't know, especially because the movie's coming out, the sequel.
Does Diamond even do the ranked list anymore?
I haven't seen it. I looked in the magazine. It used to be in the back.
Yeah.
I don't think they do. I don't think they have reason to, because it's like, we don't have Marvel, we don't have DC, we can't really do it.
It was always supposedly a tool for retailers to use. The whole reason. So if retailers must be getting their information somewhere else, or they've pissed Diamond off enough to where they're just like, forget it. We're not going to do that anymore then. We're not going to put a person on it.
I kind of like knowing, though, like, where a book stood. Like, knowing how long it was going to last or how long. I used to like that.
Oh, yeah. When you get issue 2, because I always want to see issue 2, issue 3.
What is the drop? Yeah.
What's the drop?
What is the drop going
to? Is there a bounce? Is there a bounce at 4? Because people, word of mouth has spread and it's coming back up, and there was all kinds of fun storylines that you could get out of the sales data, and I miss it a lot.
Yeah. My retailer doesn't. Like, he really didn't like Diamond that well, so he's much happier dealing with 3 entities now instead of 1, which
I hear that a lot.
Some entities don't like having to deal with 3 because they're coming in at different times and it's more work for them and more processing, and they're all handled differently in terms of how to get them entered into the system. But I get it. I understand.
I think it'd be a nightmare.
I miss the old days of understanding where the books I liked stood and if they were going to make it.
Yeah. Exactly.
And it kind of gave you a ballpark round of print runs too, in general.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you're right. At rank 11, we've got Poison Ivy number 7, Josh Middleton foil 1 in 50 variant. All the Poison Ivy covers are pretty great. This doesn't look anything better than that, really. But it's still nice cover. And again, it's a 1 in 50, but it's selling for $60 for a raw. So not a big deal. And only 11 of them moved. Rank 12, we have Wolverine 17 from 1989. The classic John Byrne cover. Let me look at it. What's it look like? Oh, yeah, I remember that one. 13 copies sold. High sale of 145 for a 9.8. No fair market value. No high raw. Rank 13, we have Marjorie Finnegan, Temporal Criminal number 1. This one from a couple of years ago has been optioned, and we've sold 17 copies of this. Selling for about $13 for near mint raws.
It's not too far ago. It's to 2021.
Yeah, I remember when it came out.
Well, this is an interesting one because DCBS would send me extras, so I have like 7 copies of this number 13. Because for some reason, I guess they were promoting AWA, and the way they chose to give people books, I guess, is if you bought AWA, you would get a copy, but that makes no sense because you want to give it to the people that don't buy a copy to see if they buy a copy.
Yeah.
And they did it with like 4 or 5 books, like the Joneses and this one, and I can't remember what the other one was. Oh, it was Hit Girl or The Hit. I can't remember what it's called. It was about that girl that would get paid like to get hit. Like she would get beat up by her clients.
Oh yeah, what was that?
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I have like 5 copies of each because I didn't pay for all 5. I only paid for 1, but they kept sending me like copies.
Oh, interesting.
Uh,
Maybe they wanted you to hand them out for Halloween or something.
yeah. Now I can sell them.
Yeah.
Wait till they're optioned and sell them all.
Of course, you hate selling, but
I do.
Rank 14, we have Amazing 300 from 1988. Quite a key at this point. From its high in 2021 of $8,000 is now about dropped in half. The CGC 98 just sold for $43.20. So people are continuing to pop onto this one. 19 copies moved.
Yeah, you sold that for like $5, right?
It was a few hundred. It was several hundred, but not several thousand. I do know that. At rank 15, we have Pandora number 1. Frank Miller Presents LLC, doing the publishing there. Let's see, 26 copies sold, high sale of $12 for raw. At rank 16, we have Poison Ivy 7, the Dan Panosian 1 in 25. Another 26 copies sold of this, with a high sale.
He's really gotten better, in my opinion.
I like it. I like his art style.
Dan Panosian was like a 90s guy that came out of the Extreme Studios stuff.
Well, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, and his art is just, it's gotten to be fantastic. He draws that Western with Snyder, the one I'm talking about, Canary.
Okay.
Yeah, he's really good. He's done a couple of books for Boom too. Can't remember which one he just did.
Yeah,
I think it was his own creation.
Yeah, he had that one about Las Vegas. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
Let's see. Deadpool number 1 comes in at rank 17. This is the Notorious B.I.G. cover. 11 copies sold. High sale of $123.50 for a near mint raw. That's pretty good. At rank 18, the Omega Man number 3, First Lobo, continues to move. 9/8 selling for $400. Nearmint's raw around $99. At rank 19, we have the first Star Wars from 1977.
This is another one that shows up all the time.
Yeah, this is a perennial one. 18 copies sold. High sale of $45.60 for a CGC 9/8. And very fine around 200. I wonder what my very kind of good copy would be, because I read that thing from cover to cover so many times. It's ratty. And rounding out our
mine came in one of those 3-packs.
Yeah. I may have gotten it.
I don't remember where I bought it, but it was maybe a Kmart or something.
Yep. Yeah, that was a big deal. I like that book. At rank 20, we've got Marvel Superhero Secret Wars #1, because someday in 2026 or so, we'll get a Secret Wars movie, and we sold 14 copies of this. And
nobody knows what they're gonna do though, because there's been several Secret Wars. I think Bendis wrote one of them. Which one are they gonna even do?
I hope they do Thor's from Second Secret Wars. That was fun. I like that. I thought that would be hilarious.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at our FOC. We should probably start with our friends at Lunar. Take a look at some things that are closing on the 18th. You have a chance to pick up a great Dan Mora Action 1051. That's pretty. We've got some Power Girl covers for Action on the cover D and the cover F, which is pretty great. Can't go wrong with the Power Girl.
I like cover. That Lee. I like that Lee Weeks where it has a little Superman jumping over Crypto or something.
That's pretty great.
That looks really neat.
Yeah. It's tough to choose, man. It's tough to choose.
I'd go with the Dan Mora though.
So why are we?
It's the cheapest one, and it's the one that's not cover stock and the cheapest one.
Yeah. The one that's not cover stock you can get for hopefully still $3 or $4.99.
$4.99 probably on this one.
Barbaric Hell to Pay #1. A whole bunch of.
I like that incentive one. That looks cool. She's sitting there with the axe on top of a bunch of fish-eyed creatures.
Yeah. I like that Batman the Audio Adventures.
There's a Tula Batman the Audio Adventures.
The all red cover with the melting clocks, like a Salvador Dali type of deal.
Yeah.
That's pretty neat. You enjoying this Blue Beetle book?
I haven't read it yet. The first one just came out fairly recently. I think last week.
Bone Check.
The Ballad of Bobby Digital. I never heard of that. What is that? Who's the publisher? I can't even tell who the publisher is. But it's $25. But
yeah,
it's very rare that I see something never seen before.
We got 5th issue of Sergeant Rock, which is the Army of Dead. Always some nice covers there.
Yeah, there's a Hitler cover.
Yeah.
That could be my pick.
Yeah. Always collectible for a certain collector.
Yeah.
DC's Harley Quinn romances. Mike, that's got your name written all over it. You are the romance comic guy.
I do like that, but I am not getting this one. This is one that I'm going to read digitally, but I'm not going to get. It's such an unusual cover.
It is.
With Aquaman, you wouldn't think those two would go together at all.
No. This In-Hyuk Lee cover for Detective 1068, man, what is going on?
I don't know. It looks like some kind of man-batter vampire.
And then we've got the cover D. We got a 3-headed Batman. That's pretty trippy.
Oh, this Dirt Declassified looks interesting. Motley Crue.
Oh yeah, that's an expensive one too.
Wow,
Right?
it's written by Alan Moore's daughter too. That's interesting.
Do you think she'll disown the publisher after she writes it?
No, I feel bad for her though. I really do, because Alan Moore could be rich if he wanted to be. And he could have passed that on to her. And he's kind of hurt his co-collaborator, Dave Gibbons. And now they're just giving Gibbons the credit because Alan Moore don't want it.
It's really weird. How I Became a Shoplifter, #1. Jason Derulo has a trade paperback. I missed that somehow. Lazarus Planet, another event.
Yeah, some of these trade paperbacks, I don't know where they're coming from. Like I don't like when I can mouse over or click on it and not see the publisher.
Yeah,
I don't see the publisher here.
It's annoying.
Because some of these trades look awesome. Like I didn't buy them, but they look great.
Yeah, they do. They look really good.
One bourbon, one scotch, one beer. Golly.
Great.
Who's the publisher? I don't remember reading these in previews.
Well, they might also be those small publishers that are also distributed by Diamond. So when we get over to the preview site, maybe they'll be at the smaller publishers too. If you recognize the names, you can look them up that way. They'll do a better job.
What's the rules on picking a book? Can you pick something that's not?
You're a guest.
That's above you don't have $10 bucks.
You have no rules.
Oh, okay.
You're a guest. You get to do what you want.
Oh, okay.
Kyle has rules because I got to keep him in check.
As long as it's not a ratio, right? I mean, that's
one of my rules, yes.
There's a Nightwalkers #1. That's Cullen Bunn, I believe. Yep, that's a Source Point Press.
I don't remember. Did this Dead Boy Detectives come out already? This is the second issue they're FOCing. I don't think I've read the first one. Did you read it?
I know I didn't read the first one.
Okay, so it's not out yet. Snow White Zombie Apocalypse from Scout Comics. I love public domain stuff.
That one already came out.
Which one?
They're just re-releasing it.
Snow White Zombie Apocalypse?
Snow White Zombie Apocalypse. Yeah, I own it.
You got a Kickstarter. That one came out.
No, I bought it from Scout.
Because I bet you.
This one came out, and then they didn't come out with the follow-on issues. Because they even won an award.
Okay, now here we go. Tell me why you like Tim Drake Robin. more than me.
I like it. Well, I'll tell you a couple of things. I rated the first one a 3 out of 5, and then mostly because of the art, not because of the story. I thought the story was decent.
But the
It
art
was
was
hard for
whack.
me to. It was hard for me. Like there was pictures I did enjoy. Like I thought he drew some of the oddball characters that are in that marina like really well. But Robin's forehead, like Tim Drake just looked bizarre,
Yes.
and it took a little bit of time for me to adjust. But as I read the story, this murder mystery and all the things that are going on, it is really good. And I don't know where this writer came from, but I feel that there's hints of that she really read Tim Drake. And Tim Drake, you got your brother laughs at him, but what he doesn't realize is he was Robin for a lot longer. And there's Dick. He was the only Robin to have his own title. Like Dick Grayson never had his own title, and he became Nightwing. He started in the Golden Age, but he was always a sidekick, never had his own title. So when they say the world's greatest Robin, it was the longest running Robin.
Yeah, but
The
it's kind of
longest running solo Robin that ever came out.
Yeah, but I mean, Nightwing was a Robin just because he
He
changed his
was
name.
he was a Robin, but he was
But if you're comparing Tim Drake to
your brother
Dick
didn't
Grayson,
read a lot of Robin. He read a lot of Robin as a Titan. He was not
right,
probably not reading him as a Batman sidekick.
right,
He read him as a Teen Titan where he was actually a leader
yeah,
of the Teen Titans. And in Teen Titans, he became Nightwing pretty darn quick.
yeah,
Well, if you don't include the Silver Age stuff that came before that. If you're just going with the Marv Wolfman stuff, he became a Nightwing fairly quick after that. And I think he is more known. Like if you throw Dick Grayson out to a majority of population, they're going to say Nightwing. They're not going to associate him as Robin.
yeah. But
And I think that's where it comes from.
But it's for me, it's probably Damian. That's probably my favorite Robin. So Kyle,
And I can see that. I think Damian started off with a lot of hate because he was one of the biggest jerks.
Yeah.
But he grew on people as time.
He's had great story arcs. And his characters evolved so much, and the stuff that he did with the Super Sons I thought was fantastic. And the stuff that he's done in some of the Elseworldy type stuff with like DC versus vampires and what's the other one where they're like zombies and stuff. Anyway,
but even if you look at like Tim Drake, he's the smartest of the bunch. He's the one that found out. He only became a Robin because he found out who Bruce was. He's the best detective. He is probably categorized. I mean, Damian, it's tough with Damian because he grew up a fighter, but he has fought some of the best fighters in the DC universe and won. And even characters that Batman hasn't knocked down, Tim Drake has. So it, like, even strategically, like there's a scene in Tim Drake Robin. I don't remember if it's it was number 2. No, it was number 3. But there's a Clayface character that's taking over the Robins, and one of the things that I think she tapped into is he thinks sort of like Bruce because he knows how to take down Dick Grayson. He knows he knows like he's like Bruce in the fact that he's registered. He even like condemns himself. He says, I can't believe I know how to take down all of the other Robins because I know their weaknesses. But that's exactly like Bruce. Bruce had a database of the entire Justice League and how to take down every single one of them. And Tim Drake knew that. Like he knows where Dick Grayson's weak points are. He knows where Damian's weak points are. He knows where Jason's weak points are. He knows where he used to date Stephanie. Like they were a big couple when she was Spoiler.
Oops, that didn't stick.
But that's even written really well because he's found out he's sort of bisexual. He's not, totally going over to one team. He's part of two teams. And like it's written well how he has to try to deal with the situation with Stephanie. Like he's struggling like to tell Stephanie like what's going on. And it's just I don't know, I just like it. It's really grown on me.
I really hate
it.
it.
Yeah, I get that people don't like it, but it's become one of my favorite books. I'm actually caught up on something.
That's all the stuff
And
up from Lunar.
I read the special, the DC Pride Tim Drake special.
Oh yeah.
And that was drawn like in a more standard template, and it was really well told.
Really good.
Same writer, yeah. I really like her writing.
Let's slide on over to Image. Take a look at Deadliest.
Did you watch Wednesday on Netflix?
Yeah, I loved it.
Well, you know how. Well, I'm not through yet, but I'm like on episode 4. You know how that's sort of like a murder mystery?
Sure.
There's a character that's killing people, and she's trying to figure out who that character is. Like who's committing these murders. That's what's happening in Robin. There's like a murder mystery, and it's really well told.
Okay.
I could talk about it forever, but
well,
I get passionate about things I like.
The art is really, really tough for me to get over. It just takes me
out
of it.
I like Riley Rossimo. I mean, he drew Proof. He drew a lot of Image comics, and I really like him. It was hard and jarring for me to get him to. I thought he worked okay in Harlequin because of the nature of that series, but
I just don't think it fits a grim and gritty mystery in Gotham.
It grew on me. I didn't like it at first either, but
yeah, I should give it another shot then.
No, if you don't like it, why spend your time? I just it worked for me.
There's plenty of
I almost gave up on it because I read the first issue and I was like,
eek. Yeah, that's where I was.
I think. Well, I was like, well, I think this is how I'm trying to cut back and just read it on the app. I was like, this is a prime candidate. I can just read this on the app. And I read the next one and I said, nope, I gotta have this in print. I like it. Yeah.
So Deadliest Bouquet finishes with its 5th issue. I'm excited to see how that goes. That's been fun. I Hate Fairyland at number 2. Junkyard Joe hits issue 3. We're an Image, by the way. I'm sorry, Mike. I don't know if I mentioned that.
Yeah, and you got all these nice Spawn covers.
Yeah, tons of Spawn covers.
Yeah, I want them all, but I'm not getting any of them.
I'm proud of you. I'm very proud of you.
Yeah.
Mike 2 years ago would have bought them all. 2 years ago, you would have bought all of them.
Yeah, I was even good at the shop today because I saw a couple that I really liked, and I was very reserved. But I would have bought the Deadliest Bouquet Spawn, the Department of Truth Spawn, all of these. I hate Fairyland Spawn. Definitely.
When they did this for Walking Dead and had a Walking Dead takeover of all the covers of everything, I bought every single comic in the Image line that had a Walking Dead takeover. So it was like 50 books. Why did I do that? Why did I do that? It's like half a short box of these Walking Dead covers for books that I wasn't even reading, you know? Dumb.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I wrote down a list of why not to. Like I have like top 10 things, and I have to keep looking at that list to convince myself not to get them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Walking Dead hits 53, and What's the Furthest Place from Here hits number 9. That's been great. I love that book. It got weird for a couple issues. It got like way too weird for a couple issues, and then it's come back around to like really cool and interestingly weird again.
that's cool. I really love this Voyages Spawn cover. Oh my god.
Uh-oh, he's having FOMO.
Oh dear. I love what they did with the cape. That is phenomenal.
I like
But
the
I'm a Spawn knock for this stuff.
Boom
I
gives us
love the 90s characters.
the second printing of Once Upon a Time at the End of the World, which is pretty cool looking cover for a second printing. I like it a lot. And now that speccers have discovered the joy of the low print run second printing, keep your eye on that one.
Yeah, that's so weird. Back in my day, the
Nope.
second print was like,
Worthless.
I had friends that says, I don't even want it. I don't want that comic because I can only get it in second print, so I'm not going to even get it.
Yep. I remember those. I remember people like that. And now it's like crazy. And this all started back when, do you remember in New 52 days when they would do DC would print for an extra $1, you got the digital code with the book? You remember that? So they'd have like a regular cover, and then they'd have one that you could get the digital code with it, and it was an extra $1.
Yeah.
And that was
It was
always
like the Marvel. Marvel did that. They still do.
Yeah, they weren't like,
they don't charge the extra $1. Yeah.
It wasn't like a different UPC. So this was a different code, like a different book altogether, because this one had the digital code with it, and it was always like really low selling. Well, then it wasn't that long ago when people started looking those back up again, because those were the lowest print runs of that version of book. So if you wanted the first Batman of the New 52, but you want that one because of how low the print run is. I'm like, come on, guys, that's crazy.
Yeah. I understand it. I just don't like it. I played that game for about 2 years, and I wasn't having any fun, so
Yep.
I stopped. You know why I stopped? Because I'm like, why am I buying this if I hate to sell it? Like if I love to sell stuff, it would make 100% sense.
Yeah.
But it's like I'm not going to sell it, and I don't want to, so it makes no sense to get it.
What never goes out of style though is buying what you love to read, or getting it some way digitally or whatever, and just reading the stuff that you really like. That never really goes out of style. If you just stick with those.
Did you see the cover for Stuff of Nightmares? Cover C? That's a Castlevania knockoff. That's pretty neat.
Which publisher?
Boom.
Oh yeah, yeah, that is a
That's a
Castlevania.
Nintendo game, right?
Yeah,
That's like a Nintendo look.
first, yeah, for the original NES. Yeah,
Yep. That's a potential one there.
definitely. We've got Dead Seas #1. This is a Cavan Scott, Nick Brokenshire book about ghosts. True
I'm
Cult.
looking forward to Gru. That's the one
Really?
I
You're a Gru
really
guy?
I used to not like Gru at all. And then I started reading it and I went to a Sergio Aragonis panel and I absolutely fell in love with the guy and God, I can't get enough of this stuff.
That there's something to that because you know, like people like Ben Tipplesmith that was never really on my radar before, but then met him on a con. Kyle and I both met him on a con and chatted him up for a while because his table was dead, and just like just thought he was just the coolest guy. And then like, and now his stuff is better in my eyes because he's cool. If he wasn't
Yeah.
cool, his stuff is less. The shine is off the rose. Like Tim Seeley. He wasn't nice enough to me. So I read his stuff begrudgingly sometimes. And I won't
Yeah,
read anything
sometimes
by
they just have a bad day.
like EVS. I'm never reading an even Ethan Van Sciver book just
I've
because of
read a
his.
lot of his stuff.
I can't read his stuff anymore.
I try to like just put that past me.
I'd like to, but unfortunately,
I'm
sometimes it's in
able
your
to do it
face.
because I always think it's not just him making this thing. And I think about that like every time I see a Mel Gibson movie or
Ha!
uh I mean I just watched what the hell was that thing called with Harrison Ford? It was Orson Scott Card Ender's Game, and he got really controversial there for a bit because of his beliefs. And I thought that movie was great. Like I haven't read the book, but God, that movie was good.
Oh, Ender's Game. I've heard good things about that.
Yeah, I haven't read the book, but it was the catch to it is phenomenal. Like
Yeah,
I haven't seen a movie that did what they did
yeah.
in an
Uh,
alien invasion type scenario. I was like, that is pretty neat.
Actually, this episode of Comics for Fun and Profit should be sponsored by Why Did Comic Boxes Get So Heavy? Or maybe when did comic boxes get so heavy? Or why are we all so out of shape? But yeah, back to the show. Are you reading True Cult by any chance?
Oh God, that's a good book.
I
I
was
like it
wondering.
a
I wanted to talk to you about that
lot.
because you when you were younger worked at McDonald's, and then there's like a fast food
Yeah,
element
I
to this
wasn't gonna
first
go. I
issue.
wasn't gonna go rob a bank though.
No, no, no. But I was
I
just
mean,
like,
rob a whole strip mall.
I wonder if this rings true to Mike from his experience, if he
It
recalls some
it
of
does.
this.
It's written.
I
It's
thought,
written like you get when you work at a fast food joint, you get a mosaic look at culture,
yeah,
in my opinion, because it's a mismatch of God, it's of different ages, like diverse ages, diverse cultures, deviants. I mean,
yeah.
you get a lot of stuff, and I think the book captures that pretty
And
well.
I
In my
now
opinion.
I was I had retail. I had worked at a music shop, so it wasn't fast food, but I still kind of got a sense of that whole thing, and it rang really authentically to me, and that's why I liked it so much. It was like really an authentic book. It felt
Yeah,
good from the beginning.
I'm glad I worked there. It taught me a lot, to tell you the truth.
That was back when they made the fries in beef tallow. So good.
Yeah, when I worked at McDonald's, we wore polyester. That's how old I am. Brown polyester with those little like sun visor hats. It was crazy. It was hard to get the smell out of those outfits. You can wash them twice and you could still smell grease and
That predates that. There was no McRib. There was no what
well
else?
the McRib came in my lifetime, like when I worked there. I
Oh,
made a
did it?
McRib.
Did it?
Yeah.
What
A
was
McDLT, a McRib.
was it? Was the McDLT the one that had like cool side separated from the
Yeah,
hot thing?
it was my favorite burger to make, and it was my favorite burger to eat. Like
I
I
love those.
love the McDLT. Yeah.
I don't know what happened
And the
there,
thing
man.
that was neat about working McDonald's is like they would let us experiment. So like if I had a lunch break, I could make like a Big Mac out of quarter pounder meat. Like I got to do like I could make something that would mix match a McDLT with a quarter pounder and all kinds of different stuff.
Oh yeah, man. I would
Yeah.
I would have weighed 400 pounds, dude, if I would have worked there. I love McDonald's food so
I
much.
was 120 pounds when I worked there. I was light, but I was in a jock too, so I like burn off everything I ate.
Did you get free food or just discounted food?
Uh, it got I think it was 50% off. We got a discount.
Nice.
Sometimes if we worked during a rush or like they had a good day, the manager would say, "Okay, it's on me," and they would pay it out of like if you ran a good service.
Nice.
There's a lot of good comics in this batch.
Yeah. Marvel's got some good
Um,
stuff here. Looking at Dark Web Ms. Marvel #1. That's got a pretty neat looking cover. I like it. But I don't know who Sabir Perzada is. Another new writer.
Why am I not seeing that one? Am I on the wrong page? Dark Web.
I
Oh,
hope
I
I'm on.
see it now.
Am I in new releases or FOC? Am I in the wrong thing?
I don't know if I am, but I saw the Dark Web, the Miss Marvel. Is that what you saw?
Yeah, I am on new releases. I've been doing new
I
releases
am.
this whole time.
I've been doing. Well, I thought we were on new. Are we on new
I
releases?
think
Or
we started in FOC and we morphed it in new releases. So we'll just
Okay.
go with it. Let's just finish her up. So that's okay.
All right.
We neither one of us caught it until we're halfway down into Marvel. That's funny.
Really like Captain America's Symbol of Truth. God, that's really well written comic.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, it's like a Patriot Games pace of a comic book. Like there's just a lot of political intrigue, and it involves like Wakanda and Latveria and all kinds of stuff. And vibranium and I just like it a lot. I like Black Panther a lot. Gold Goblin was really good, but I'm into the Spider-Man. Like Spider-Man's, I'm up on 2 books, Spider-Man and Amazing Spider-Man and Robin. And I've been reading Gold Goblin because it goes with it.
We get another Mary Jane and Black Cat story,
Yeah.
and I love the last one we got, so I'm excited about this. I love the J. Scott Campbell. I really like the Peach Momoko. It's nice. Nakayama's good. It's tough to choose a cover there. They're all pretty nice. Spider-Man Lost Hunts doing a Web of Spider-Man homage for its first issue. I like that.
Yeah, that's cool. I actually like the cover A though, the skull. That looks pretty cool on a head mount. Wakanda #3. Wolverine has been really good. I'm almost caught up in that.
You reading
Wolverine
any of the?
and X-Force has gotten really good. Enjoying it.
Yeah, I'm sitting out all the X stuff for right now. Hopefully someday I can get back into it.
And there's a couple of X books I'm really liking. The Wolverine and the X-Force I like a lot, and X-Men Red and Immortal X-Men. Those are the ones I really enjoy. And I'm still reading all the others, but I'm sort of going through the motions and I'm reading them digitally. So
Yeah.
these ones I'm reading in print. I like. A few Dynamites, but they're only well, most of them are like variants, expensive ones. What else is happening? Oh, we got Savage Tales coming out. I love those. Those are one shots.
Who's doing that one?
Am I in the right stuff? Because that Beta Ray Bill, oh, that's a PVC. I saw the Beta Ray Bill action figure at the store.
You out of Marvel? Or did you swing past Dynamite already?
Yeah.
Say down in the other comics and graphic novels then.
Am I even in the right month? Where am I?
You're fine. You're fine.
I'm December 21st.
That'll work.
Okay.
That's the one coming up. Airboy 52. Now, was it Airboy 51 that was like the first one back, or was it 52 that's the first one back? Yeah, it's this one. No, it was 51. Because this one is
How's
also
that coming
$10.
out? Did you know that guy died?
Chuck Dixon?
No, the guy that owned It's Alive. I'm surprised the book's coming out.
Oh.
Yeah, he got the COVID real bad, and
Well,
he died.
there was probably a
He
vice
used to do the
president.
Kickstarters. Yeah. I'm surprised I stopped buying It's Alive because I didn't know what was going to happen to the company after he died. And he was already like sort of late, like really late.
Yeah.
So I wonder if somebody picked up. Biden's Titans versus Dracula. There you go.
Jesus. Those can't sell that
Bo-
well.
Bones of Gods. Well, Trump's NFTs sold out at
I know.
$99 a pop.
I
Like, what the
know.
fuck?
Oh my God, that makes me nauseous.
I can't believe it.
I can.
I just don't understand.
We need to retire.
He'll when he goes to jail, it could be collector's items. Who
I
knows?
guess. Junior #1 from Scout. This is Alex Cometa and Sean Callahan doing the writing, with Alex Cometa doing the art, about a young space marine. It's like Alien. Wasn't she a space marine?
Junior, where are you?
Down
Oh,
in
I
the
see it now.
yeah.
You skipped another Scout #1 though.
Which one?
Where did I see it? The Bones of Gods.
There you go. Tell me about it.
Yeah. Well, the cover
Yeah.
looks nice.
Yeah.
It's a fantasy title. 20 years after an epic battle between the world's gods, civilization has reemerged from the ashes of that configuration. The gods destroyed each other during the epic fight. Now, if you're into gods, this looks good.
Yeah, I guess. Ninja Funk #1 from Whatnot Publishing. Whatnot.
I liked the other one, Alpha Betas. I read that, and I
Did
didn't
you?
think I would like it because it looked like something out of a Disney cartoon or Nickelodeon, and I liked it. It was so not in my. It was like a gaming book. It was so not in my wheelhouse too.
Right.
The Gun Honeys are awesome.
Yeah, Gun Honeys are.
I actually think I bought all the covers.
You did? No, that's not
I
going to
I
help
did.
you. That's not going to help you cut back.
Well, that was before the cutback though.
Oh,
When I
okay.
pre-ordered these.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't get this FOC variant though. I really like the cosplayer variants on these ones. They're awesome.
Yeah, they're pretty great.
Holy mackerel. Holy shoot. They're amazing.
Prospects #1 from Band of Bards. I'm not familiar with that publisher. Maxwell Majernik and John Franco doing writing and art. And this is a 150-year battle between two mad scientists. Interesting.
I ordered it. Oh no, I didn't order Prospects. It looked too weird to me. I ordered several books from Band of Bards, but not Prospects.
Okay. Road Trip to Hell from Scout. Nick D'Andrea, Joaquin Pereira. Looks like a demon Satanist type of thing.
Looks like a comedy type thing.
Yeah, with demons.
There's a lot of comics coming out that week. This is weird.
It must just. I bet you the week after is gonna be dead because of Christmas.
No, but this is usually we have the week of before Christmas and the week of New Year's are dead. This is a lot of comics, man. This is a lot.
I think you're gonna find the 27th and 28th is gonna be non-existent. There will be nothing.
A new issue of Sulphur Wells. This is pretty interesting. Wow, another Tangled River comes out. That is really good.
What's that?
But it's one of those It's Alives. I don't know if it'll ever finish. It's like a sci-fi. It's just a weird story. It's really hard to describe. It's about sort of like relationships and world travel and where they end up, and it's really cool. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Boy, I do want this Lookers Sexy Spies box set. That's an Avatar. Damn it. Wish I could order that. See, they didn't have these available on DCBS.
You're doomed.
These are boundless, but they're not well, if I bought these, I would not treat them as a new purchase. I would treat them as back issues.
No.
These are old comics. These are old. I would have bought all three of these. I would have bought the Pandora Ancient Rome bag, the Web Witch. Oh man.
It's like talking you off the ledge, man. Don't do it. Don't jump.
You don't get it. These are not boundless. These are Avatar books under the boundless banner. Like if you looked up the cost of these and you try to buy these on my comic shop, they would be way more expensive for 4 issues
Which one is it again?
than if you these Thresholds.
So it's a new Avatar book?
It's an old
That's an
Avatar
old,
book,
okay.
like from 10, 15, 20 years ago.
Okay.
And they're this is like surplus. Remember we were talking about like
Yeah, like
surplus
Boundless does
that
all the
they're
time.
doing? Yeah, this is like surplus, but these are hard issues to get.
28,
Like if you just
29,
wanted to go
30, and
buy them.
31.
Yeah, I
Of
would
20-year-old comics that have minor damage.
yeah, I would be all over these. So they were not in my
They're not in
pre-order.
FOC.
I would have bought them. Wonder if Eric can get them for me.
I don't think you would have ordered these unless you pre-ordered them or FOC'd
But he
them.
can order it now. There's an order button right there. It says order.
True. That's true. You're right. He can. Is that your pick, Mike? Are you picking Threshold? What is it? Threshold Wetworks?
Let me go to my comic shop and see what they're going for. It might be that nobody's gonna pick these. But they're hard. They're hard to get.
Nobody's ever going to pick these. Nobody's ever going to pick a 4-pack
Well,
of Boundless back
they're
issues as the pick of the week. You're right. You will be the only person.
They're not. You don't get it. They're not Boundless. They're Avatar.
I gotcha.
Because Boundless didn't exist back then.
And Avatar's not going to exist here pretty soon.
Threshold, Avatar. Wow, 54 issues. So they were in the 20s, right?
Threshold Lookers.
Yeah, most of these are not available. Like they're just. Yeah, I'm looking at like $9. I'm looking at $9 a book. If I was to go, so 9 times 4, the $19 is way cheaper than if I tried to get these. Heck yeah.
Well, too bad there's 3 different 4-bag sets, so you'd have to choose.
I can't pick all of them.
No, you can't.
See, collectors would be surprised, but these early Avatar books, they are hard to track down.
Well, yeah, I bet you the print
they're
runs
worth like $10 or more each if in fine or higher. And then the other one that's hard to get is Verotic, the Glenn Zangdig books. Glenn Danzig, the rock star mother. Well, he has that Verotic line, and those are hard to track down too. Yep, this is man.
You're excited.
I missed out on that.
Well, let Eric know. He'll get them for you. He'll move heaven and earth to get them for you.
This new previews had a bunch, and I ordered all of them, and still stayed under my threshold. But my logic is, these are from 2003. They're old.
20 years old, man.
Yeah. And sometimes, like when I bought one of these bundles, I've gotten like the 1 in 50s.
Yeah, that's
for
always
$19.99.
Cool. That's always nice.
Yeah. That'll be my pick.
You got your pick right?
I'll just pick one of them, but
all right. Which one?
I gotta find the page again because I got distracted on my comic shop.
I bet it's Looker's Sexy Spies. I bet you pick Looker's Sexy Spies.
They got the Web Witch too. I will go with the Lookers because the Lookers is my favorite. That's my favorite Boundless comic.
I skim it,
Yeah.
if you know what I mean.
Yep, I totally will do this one. I'll do the Threshold Lookers Sexy Spies bag. It's one of those ones though that I'm picking and I haven't ordered yet because I didn't have the option to order these.
That's all right. And I'm gonna go with Mary Jane and Black Cat #1. I'm gonna go with the J. Scott Campbell cover. So my pick is boring compared to Mike's. Cool
Well, I already
Avatar
know
thing.
mine is worth more.
You've already scored. Yours is in the bag.
Yeah, I've
Literally
already
in the bag.
scored. Yeah, I've already scored if I try to buy these off of eBay or my comic shop.
Yeah. Mike, where can people listen to more of your pontifications?
Well, I want to say one more thing. I want to pick my FOC because I didn't.
That's because
my
we got derailed on our FOC halfway through. We didn't even finish the FOC.
Yeah, but we started off okay.
We were in Lunar. We didn't do anything else.
I know. That's why I'm gonna pick it off of Lunar.
Okay, you pick a.
I'm gonna pick the Motley Crue book.
All right. What's it called?
I'm looking for it, but that's the one I
was it in Lunar?
Want to pick. Did you watch that Motley Crue Pamela Anderson thing on Hulu? That was so good.
No, I never saw that one.
Damn it. It was in Lunar. I'm just trying to find it.
I can't remember what it was called. Night Shift? No.
It's something Motley Crue. Oh, it's called Dirt Declassified. Motley Crue trade paperback.
Jesus. Mike, you're breaking all my rules.
But you could get a night. Well, it's just a $20 book.
Now I've got
it's no more than my Avatar bundle.
Yeah. Mike picks two $20 books.
I know on one of them I've made out. The other one I don't know. I'm gambling on Motley Crue fans wanting to get this.
I'm gonna pick the Salvador Dali. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna pick. What was the other one you liked? I'll pick that one for you. Action Comics 1051 Lee Weeks.
Okay. But there's the Hitler cover from Sergeant Rock.
Nah, I refuse. You can change your pick, but I'm not picking it. Are we good, Mike?
No, I'm gonna stick with the Motley Crue, but you can reach me at Mike Myers Brunch. I had to think there for a bit. And you can send me email at mike@comicbooknoise.com, and you can find me at Geek Brunch Retro, and DC Noise. I do DC Spotlight there. But I have, and Mike M's Weekly Reads, I have like 4 podcasts. But that's where you can find me.
He's pared down.
Used to be 10. And I think Jason asked me a question for the show, and I can answer it real quick. He asked if I ever podcasted with Aaron Myers, and the answer is yes. I used to do a comic book podcast called Mike M's Collector's Corner, and I talked to Aaron on there. So I did podcast with Aaron Myers.
$5 pickup, 12-cent pickup,
yeah,
50-cent pickup.
Yeah, well, I don't know how true it is, and I think he's got to be in the hole based on some of the books he's been posting, because he has to buy boxes of these things. So he has to go. I like joked with him online. I said, this last batch of books, you have to like call your wife, right, and say, I'm gonna go dump, like $8,000 or $10,000 on this, and we'll make $30,000. But I know what's happening. I know what you have to pay for this. And he said, yeah, you kind of guess what's happening. I have to call my wife and convince her that's the right thing to do. All right.
Hey, man. Thank you very much for coming on
Sorry
the
to keep
show.
you up and vectoring you so far off.
No, it's fine. It's fine. This has been great, man. I'm glad I got to talk to you again.
But you have to go back to work on Monday, and I'm like on vacation mode, so I can
I
stay up till
know.
whatever time. I have to
It,
get up early in the morning though, because we have that refrigerator guy. God, I hope he fixes it. The first time he came out, he said, "Oh, you need another part," and I'm like, "Oh crap." It's hard to live without a refrigerator. That's terrible.
I can imagine. Well, hey, thank you all for listening to Comics for Fun and Profit. As you know, our LCS is Cowabunga Comics, Lake Country, Wisconsin's best pop culture destination for new comics, back issues, gaming, retro video games, vinyl, and figures. Give them a call, 262-569-9999. Check them out online at cowabungacomics.com or follow them on Twitter at Incredicow. They are our LCS, and we utilize their deep discount mail order service to bring Oconomowoc, Wisconsin closer to us. They'll take care of you. Tell them Drew and Kyle sent you. Say hi to Eric and James from us. If you need an LCS, you can't go wrong with Cowabunga Comics.